What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 52 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. Attention, Naggarond Inc. workers. Be advised that personal belongings will now be confiscated at office entrances. Rights to the return and use of belongings on premises will be awarded to top performers only. Have a miserable day. So as we saw last time, we had our battle of Greasus versus Lokir, where Lokir had absolutely no trouble knocking Greasus off his gold-laden cart, though unfortunately you can't steal all that gold, though I suppose not like we need it at this point in the campaign, at least not very much. We ended the episode off with Crone Hellebron being attacked by Roderick Lichberg and Edmund Barrickmere, two full stacks of reasonably elite vampire counts units, and surprisingly decently balanced, I should say. As in, they've got zombies, ghouls, and crypt horrors, as well as a couple of corpse carts to make their battle lines stronger, as well as a necromancer who, judging by his HP, I would believe is also on a corpse cart as well, so plenty of that. A unit of Cairn Wrights. Lichberg here appears to be on a Terrorgeist, plus has a Terrorgeist in tow, and there's a zombie dragon and a Vargolf coming in from the second line. Also, unlike vanilla, where Banshees and White Kings are absolute trash units and don't really serve too much of a purpose over vampire heroes, they're actually pretty useful in SFO due to the number of things that they can get. Sundered armor, which is pretty good, but also the various auras and general unkillability of the White King, and the Banshees have their ability of the Tomb Scream, plus obviously they're a lot stronger in SFO, generally speaking. Long story short, should be a pretty darn interesting battle, especially considering we are hurt going into it. Well, let's get right to it. Alrighty, well, it sounds like Crone Hellebron understands the assignment, though there's only ever one assignment for a Cainite force, so it's not like that should be all that difficult. Anyway, here we go. I'm particularly excited about this battle as, well, let's face it, it's been a while since there's been a battle that truly challenged Hellebron's force, and hey, with two elite stacks of high veterancy, this may just be the one, especially considering that we are damaged here. Now, we're going to just send Hellebron out by herself. She is still only 28, as in only level 28, which isn't as high as we'd like, but her stats are pretty darn crazy without any of the buffs active. With the buffs, they'll get even crazier. Fortunately, since this is a vampire force, they don't have too much in the way of contesting Hellebron up in the skies, at least until the second force arrives, so maybe she can take the time to kill off the enemy Strigoi and maybe the enemy Terrorgeist if we have the capability of doing so. The main force is going to wait here. We're going to be using this impassable terrain sort of cliffside as a pseudo wall, and then the other side is going to be forested, which means if the enemy sends in knights or it sends in large units, they'll have the debuffs going for them from being in the woods. The reinforcements are also going to arrive, and we're going to set up the range units back here where they can fire down on the enemy, while the various units of executioners, etc., hold the ground. We'll see how effective that is once we get to it. So anyway, let's see how Hellebron gets up to fighting here. They're going to start out by getting a Spirit Leech on her and her Manticore. She's going to activate her own abilities here, Witch Brew, Foe Seeker as well, and that buffs up her stats quite high, plus a Visen's Wild Form to help her out even further, though the Strigoi has also popped his own buffs, a Book of Arcane giving him melee attack plus 30 on top of the upgraded Danse Macabre, pumping him up to 148 melee attack. Actually pretty crazy, and actually higher than Hellebron's, as surprising as that might be. And then of course the Opal Amulet with that damage resistance, putting him to 30.
although he doesn't have much in the way of resistances otherwise. So it looks like Hellebron will take damage, at least while the Danse Macabre and the Book of Arcan are both up and running. But on the other hand, she does have, well, I was wondering who would be able to out-regenerate whom here. On the one hand, the Strigoi should have a higher max HP in theory. On the other hand, as well, he does have his regular Terrorgeist regeneration plus the Invocation of Nehek regeneration. On the other hand, Hellebron has double regeneration by virtue of... Ooh, here comes a vampire. By virtue of the regeneration that she has, plus the 3 sets of potions that she has, so who knows. Alrighty, there we go. Looks like with the enemy losing out on at least some of his buffs, he's starting to lose HP. Hellebron has also activated her Potion of Toughness, bumping up her melee defense to 91, which is pretty darn solid. And on top of that, an additional damage resistance, so up to 48% physical, and unfortunately the Strigoi does not have his, does not have a magical damage. Looks like the enemy has sent forth one of its Terrorgeist by itself. It's going to pop its Terrorgeist Shriek, and it looks like it wants to go after Nightshade, our sorceress. Don't think that's going to work out so well, however, as Nightshade can simply move through the lines of the Blades of the Blood Queen, stopping the Terrorgeist in its tracks, wherein we can surround it and have Talaris Dreadbringer, our legendary master, start attacking it. And he should be able to bring it down without too much problems, as he's pretty buff himself. 635 damage, 6858, and that's without items, which we will give him later. To ensure that the Terrorgeist cannot escape, we also send in a unit of Witch Elves, which keep it in place and prevent it from running away until it dies. Lovely. In the meantime, Hellebron is still fighting the enemy lord, though by the looks of it, not for too much longer. She has killed off all the bats, which I imagine she was pretty darn effective at doing, just by virtue of the fact that she has that toxic venom on the Manticore. And finally, brings down the Lord and continues healing via her potion. Now she'll go after the enemy Vampire of Shadows, and I'm sure not have any problems bringing said vampire down. Looks like we take off about 20% HP with every hit. Lovely. Hellebron can continue fighting. The enemy is starting to move towards our main line, though now we have reinforcements here and at least a little bit in the way of range support. Lovely. That's a pretty big pile of enemies moving in as well, so it may or may not be a concern depending on how it goes. Looks like the vampire is nearly done. Gotta love how Hellebron can handle herself up here, and there we go. That's a Lord and a Vampire down, and I'm sure we can now find enemy Necromancers, Corpse Carts, and Terrorgeist and Zombie Dragon, anything that we can catch. Really, gonna go after that Corpse Cart first, or maybe the Terrorgeist or Zombie Dragon over on this side, if we can catch it before it lands. Anyway, here come the enemies. Crypt Horrors moving in, and I do absolutely love Crypt Horrors. The enemy, looks like a very nice concentrated effort, or concerted, effort, as a Black Dragon Breath or Zombie Dragon Breath comes down on one of our units of Sisters of Slaughter and takes off about 2/3, even more in fact, of their HP. So we're gonna have these ladies run away and not fight anymore. Gonna put them probably to the edge of the map. I'd rather not have a unit killed off so far into enemy territory, even with the fact that we have one of our Blackheart supporting. Railgun shots coming in from one of our, or what one, that's the only one, from our Bloodrack Shrine, as the enemy units of Crypt Horrors with a Banshee have moved forward and have started attacking our Executioners. That said, Talaris Dreadbringer does magical damage, so he should have absolutely no problem whatsoever bringing the Banshee down. It looks like she is already starting to fade away. And these guys do have that 75% physical resistance, but unfortunately for them, that also means it comes with a lot lower HP. The rest of our units are going to be holding pretty admirably by the looks of it. The Harganeth Executioners and Sisters of Slaughter together, essentially making up for each other's weaknesses. The Sisters of Slaughter with that massive 98 melee defense, which is absolutely crazy, especially combined with the fact that they cause bleed at all the units, or against all the units, to all the units, while they're down there. This flank, however, is going a little bit tougher. We popped the Madness of Cain to buff our units up a little bit more. The zombie dragon is floating around. Hellebron fighting right in the middle of the formation. I think Hellebron's also killing the enemy Banshee down there. A little bit more difficult to see what's going on here, mostly because it's in the trees, but hey. And there we go, getting a little bit of Black Ark support coming down, and not actually so much on the enemy units. And now I do like them fighting on all of this Madness of Cain fog, or whatever you want to call it. The Black Ark support mostly hitting the enemy units of Shades, because obviously, or not Shades, Karen Wraiths, because, well, I guess Karen Wraiths are Shades in a way. Just not the same kind of Shades as we have. But yeah, we don't have a lot of magical damage in our regular units, so it was necessary. Some lovely shots in terms of the cinematics, in terms of this particular fight as well. We have Pit of Shades at home coming down on top of the enemy pile of enemies here, and it does look like it'll at least take out those Karen Wraiths, which once again is the focus. The zombies, the skeletons, all the other non-ethereal units aren't really a problem for our executioners, who should be able to knock them out. Range support coming down as well, and they're just not making their way up this hill. Alrighty, keep holding the ground. Hellebron is also, by the looks of it, knocked out the enemy dragon, as well as whatever else was elite over there, and is now able to switch her attacks. There's a Necromancer, a Master Necromancer, and another Necromancer, all of which she can kill. She's already killed so many elites, she might as well continue to do so. The massive horde of shambling dead continue making their way up the hill as well, and this is just one of the reasons I absolutely love the Vampire Counts. I just love seeing the just piles of zombies making their way up the hill. This is exactly, for those watching it, this is exactly what I want to do in my current Baldur's Gate 3 run, where I want to have all the units essentially be able to summon as many zombie undead summons as possible, just to see how it works out in that particular game. Anyway, Flock of Doom coming down to rip apart more zombies, while the Death Hags absolutely mince said zombies as well, and I should think that they're pretty darn effective at doing so against their relatively weak units. Another Madness of Cain comes down, while Hellebron, I believe, has taken out one of the regular Necromancers, now is going after the Master Necromancer, who will be dead again shortly. Well, I guess it's a Necromancer, so it won't be dead again, like the vampires, but, well, whatever. Or the other dead, rather. Alrighty, looks like he's crumbling away, and so is his corpse cart. He's done for, and then there will be another Necromancer to find, but it looks like the balance of power is shifted to about 90% in our favor, and I think the battle should be ours in a few moments. Lovely. And there we go, very, very nice. Not too much more work left for our infantry. Hellebron nearly killed off that Necromancer, and there we go, the enemy army has shattered, and everybody will now crumble away. One more hit, I think. There it is, and with that, the last of the enemy heroes and lords have fallen. A couple more enemies to chase off. I guess the Sylvanian crossbows won't crumble like the rest of the army, so we may give chase to them as well. I don't know how quickly Hellebron can... Oh, actually, quite well. Oh, right, because of the toxic venom. She's actually very adept at chasing. Damn. She might be more adept at chasing than the rest of the piles of units, where we got that second use of Pit of Shades out. And there we go. And just like that, the enemy living units have joined their dead friends. A close victory, apparently. I'm not entirely sure why, perhaps due to ammunition expenditure or due to magical expenditure combined with that, but it's not like these armies are reliant, or this army, I guess, is reliant on range damage, so a little bit surprising that the game calls us a close victory, where I don't think it was. We did take a bit of damage on a few units, like we saw that zombie dragon breath, but probably isn't that much. Let's see the damage, in fact, on the results screen. Alrighty, there we go, and man, the AI just has the best rise, they rise again, or the dead rise luck. So, their lord survived, both banshees survived, the second lord survived, the vampire survived, one of the necromancers survived, the zombie dragon survived as well, and yeah, looks like most of their graveguard, in fact, almost all of their graveguard survived, but the zombies died. At the very least, the crypt horse survived. Both of the corpse guards survived as well. Damn you, AI. I don't have even anywhere near this good luck. I'm almost 100% certain that the AI has a higher value for raised dead than the player does. But anyway, it was a really fun battle. I know I'm very biased on the matter because they're my favorite, but I love both playing as and against the vampire counts. They just make the game better, guys. We're gonna enslave, obviously, and that's a decent amount of slaves, though that'll hurt our public order, but we need to replenish a little bit as Hellebron needs to continue on through Sylvanian territories. A village wants something, and he wants military access. Do we want military access from village? I mean, we already have non-aggression pact. Do we care about this? I mean, I guess we'll accept for now. I'm sure that the Knights of Calidor won't like it, but whatever. Ellen Delling, he wants a non-aggression pact. That's adorable. Ugh. Yeah, it still bugs me how much the various wood elves love us, considering. I really wish that there had been another option with the endgame scenario that is viable for the Dark Elves. Otherwise, I would have allied with the Wood Elves as well, and then we could have just had an all-elf party here. Anyway, non-aggression pact? No. No, unfortunately not. Alright, and what do we have here? Black Council, Jaden. Alright, we've already read this. What do we have? All of this costs us turn loyalty, and I don't think that's worth our time. I'd rather have no issues with the loyalty. It's just not something we need to deal with this late into the game. Well, late-ish. Creator for you, administration? Yeah, all the administrations should have creator. Ambush foiled? Yeah, I got that game. I got that. Missile resistance, bodyguard, and other overseer. Bodyguard, elf servant, like 50 elf servants. You are still recruiting and will continue to do so. It looks like they... Honestly, what they should have done is sent both armies to try to go after Admiral Leech. They should have been able to reach him just because he's out here, but now they've failed, and it looks like they will not be able to capitalize on that at all. Cold one for Sereth. Who the heck is Sereth? Loyalty crisis averted for Valanduil Emerald rather. Ready for duty for one of the R&Ds. Oh, the R&Ds that had died or been knocked out. Yeah, right. Hellebron is mostly at full HP now, which is lovely, and we do want to leave Nuln and give it to the Golden Order after all, but Sokos does also need to continue his construction. I forget, what does Dark Path do again? Oh, it's just campaign movement range. Yeah, we might replace him with a better Lord once I decide what kind of Lord should be in here. Well, he's got 4 Reaper Bolt Throwers. And I might as well build a couple more Black Ark Corsairs if we're building them anyway. Alrighty, next up. Who are you again? Ah, yes, you're going to join this army. I remember you vaguely. I very vaguely remember you. Who was Sereth? Nightshade is not a bad name for a Dark Elven sorceress. I don't know who Sereth is. Odd. I probably should have clicked, but what has me concerned is that Sereth might be somebody that's in an army and thus is not flying anymore, but, well, what can you do? Anyway, let's see what we have to do this time. Well, we certainly have to lower our slave count by rushing things, but I'll take care of that between the episodes. Ricarthi, I guess we want you to take the Dusk Peaks, but you're so damaged right now that, maybe we'll wait. I don't know if this auto-resolve is going to work so well for us. We also, however, don't want you to get... Okay, here's what we'll do. If you leave this place and you go into raiding stance... I'm just worried about the plague transferring. I wonder how much you'll heal up if we're raiding enemy territory rather than friendly. So 4 and 2... Okay, that's actually not very helpful. Oh, wow, a lot less. Okay, fine, we'll raid, I guess, this territory. I know it's our own territory, but it's, yeah. I don't see how we have a choice in the matter, and Barthar are going to do the same thing. Let's just hope that we don't get the plague, and we'll march forward and then attack Dusk Peaks next turn then. Ah, damn, I was hoping that Erdothane here would have gotten attacked, but alas, he did not, and Mangrove Coast does not have enough units to really defend itself, so I think we're just going to go ahead and auto-resolve it. We'll get him a battle before the end, guys. I rest assured. There we go. Can any of the R&Ds go for Mangrove Coast? No, it doesn't look like it. I just wanted to double check in case they were out of moves. You are in fact kind of out of moves. This is not the best place to revive at. I guess we could go south to the Godless Crater. Oh, look at that. The lizards don't like us very much, do they? They don't like the fact that we killed the Cult of Sotek. Go figure. I don't really think it's necessary to attack them. I suppose we could ply them with money, though. They've actually nearly killed Tzeentch, and frankly, maybe we should kill off Tzeentch ourselves. I just don't find it necessary to enter into another war. Who do we have out here, by the way? I have Vampiric Corruption on the... on these guys, as in Arcan and the Followers of Nagash. Also, Mabe, we did want you to get the buff for defeating Morgur that we got for Marathi last time, just to double check that we did get it successfully, and indeed we did. Okay. I'm always nervous about losing a really good buff like that. Marathi, go here, you're gonna auto-resolve, and we will delete Morgur now. Yes, we could farm him further, but I think it'll be too much of a hassle, so... Shield of Grond, yes, and we will... Do we actually want this place in any way? As in, do we want to keep it? Not really. But we could occupy it just because we're here. Let's talk about it. There we go. Hey, another Arnzapal's Black Horror thing. Passive ability Shield of Grond. Mava, you probably don't need it. Not in the sense that I don't want you to have an item, but in the sense that you can use a better item, which I'll take care of before the end. Alright, sorry about that. Had to make a quick cut. I accidentally smacked the mic, and that probably would have been deafening. I'm not entirely sure, but I'd rather not. I'd rather not risk it. Anyway, what are we looking at in terms of this stuff? Well, there's a decent amount of things here: Bloodforged plate mail, ceremonial weapons, serrated blades. Although they're still at 2 and not 1, unfortunately. And the other stuff that is only taking 1 turn is just not worth our time at the current time. So we'll deal with it later. Malekith UK, well, I guess we'll continue doing things in order, and while I would like Malekith to kill off Massive Forecal, now it's barely got defenses. I don't really care for keeping it, to be perfectly honest. I guess we could get some stuff in there. We could also keep it and then transfer it over to one of our allies. I was thinking we'd be transferring Blackstone Post and Kyrgyzstan over to Bretonia anyway. And this is all ruins by virtue of, I take it, the... oh wow, look at that. By virtue of, I take it, Morgur doing things. Malekith could also go after Varsio here, but then again, so can Theshelre, and it does depend on who we exactly declare war on at the current time. And just to double check, so Durthu, currently doesn't like us too much. Ah, damn, so he is in fact... we could actually ask the Skaven to join war. We're not technically at war with the Skaven as yet, though we probably will be eventually. If we say join war against Argwalon, they will accept it. This might be a decent time to do it. Wait, actually, are these guys... These guys are also at war with the Skaven, eh? Yeah, that might be the way to do it. I figure we'll probably want to start on destroying these guys before the endgame scenario. Plus, we're here, and I don't think we're going to go anywhere else. Alrighty, either way, that doesn't change the fact that we want to attack Massive Forecal. Can Akhenet reach it, I guess, is the question. No. At least not right now. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this right, because we don't have enough armies here to do everything at the same time, so we're essentially going to have to make a choice. Well, I guess what does matter is we have to use the R&Ds right now, at least the ones here, because if we don't, then it'll be a problem. So Steel Tech, Steel Tech, Steel Tech. At least this way their tech steelies will have been completed and I don't have to worry about missing out. Okay, and you will continue annoying the Skaven as well. Not that we're going to attack these guys. I, however, do expect them to attack us. We should probably park Morathi over at Skaven Blight once she heals up, perhaps. Now, just stay here in Montanas, which should not be collecting income, incidentally. And Magritta and Nuja are both full of Skaven, no doubt. I have to wonder whether we should keep these two together as well. And maybe we should. Well, just stay there for now, it's not a big deal. Anyway, let's declare war. I mean, I guess we could always declare war on the Massive War Calendar and these guys afterwards. Because we can ask Reichland or Kurun to join the war. And I don't think that Durthu or... Okay, let's just double check Kurun here. How do you feel about the Elves? Okay, so you won't like this. You won't like when we declare war on them. Do you have any alliances? We have a non-aggression pact with Durthu, but you do like us a decent amount, and we could do a defensive alliance before we attack. That way, hopefully, they won't get too pissy about it. I'd love to do the same thing with Reichland, but the problem is that'll weaken Reichland considerably, and Reichland needs its strength to defend against those other enemies. So we'll do defensive alliance with Lewin, and yes, this will weaken him as well, but I'm more worried about him hating us enough to... for us not to be able to make use of his units, in case we do at some point. And I guess Castle Artois will be where we build the... oh, actually, Lyonesse is tier 4 as well. And it does have the Pegasus Knight stable. Yeah, alright, Lyonesse then. Let's go for a Lyonesse in terms of outpost. Is it not an option? Was there already something there? Am I blind? Huh. Oh, there's already one. Reichland. And then who's here? Marienburg. Well, I guess then Castle Artois is the only choice. Alright, game, fine. Castle Artois it is. It is, where's Artois? Construct. Good. Alrighty, and then we'll transfer them some stuff. Anyway, now that that is done, I guess it's time to declare war on the various types of Wood Elves. We'll join the war against Durthu first. So, Skaven, we'll talk to you. Or actually... a lot of other factions won't like us talking to the Skaven. Maybe we ask the Orcs instead? Wait, the Skaven aren't actually allied with the Massive Orcal or slash with the Grom? That's actually surprising. Join war against Arguelon. We can do 1 and 1. Because these guys will at least be dead shortly. Join war against Arguelon. Yeah, why don't you give us your money, just to make you a little bit weaker. There we go. Now we're at war with the Arguelon, but not at war with anybody else. And I guess we'll want to do the same thing, and just do it against Talzin as well. Like so. And give us more money. Hush, 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 we're busy. Then we're gonna have the Shellray go into Druki First Strike. We're gonna have you kill off this little army. Hopefully it doesn't run across the river. You're gonna run across the river, aren't you? Of course you are. Of course you are. You're gonna have to do the thing that is the most annoying thing that you were going to have the option of doing. I guess I was going to have Malekith attack the Massive Orcal, but we need to destroy these armies. So you're gonna go after Dulas, and then you're gonna move down there afterwards. Let's auto-resolve this. Shouldn't be too much damage, at least I hope so. Really? Really? Game. Why you hurt our units so? I don't appreciate it. Alrighty, and Giant Blade, another Organ Merchant, though. That's a nice pickup. And enemy killed in battle, at least all of their heroes are dead. You're gonna go into regular stance and go right here into Paravent, because you'll be able to raid there. And heal up a little bit, although maybe I should have just healed in Montfort instead, but, well, whatever. I guess death can't reach you anyway, so it's not a huge issue anyway. You're in March stance, so Malekith kill. And let's hope that the auto-resolve doesn't screw you over too much. Your army should be elite enough that it shouldn't matter. Oh man, if we really wanted to, we could actually... Well, no, it'll probably never happen in this campaign, but in theory, theoretically, what we could have done is get to 4 units of Royal Hippogriff Knights together with the Manticore Lords, because they're kind of similar units, you know, 4 models and stuff. Yeah, so... I know that I am planning to do the same thing in my Karl Franz campaign, wherein it will probably be a possibility because we've been allied with Crone there for ages. Anyway, let's take Quinnell. Not that I really care about Quinnell, mind you, but while it's here. And I'll resolve this as well. As well at Quinnell, occupy. And obviously we'll be giving all of this to our allies as well. It's just that for now we'll stick around. Akhenet, I would like you to move towards the Massive Orcal then. So go here and then start raiding, I guess not Quinnell, just... then again... Oh, you know what? I guess you don't necessarily need to raid. Go out here and go to Massive Orcal. At least this way Malekith will not be needed to deal with this. Plus, I want to get the Mr. Misery and the Coastal Relations Liaison back into combat. We also probably should alter this army somewhat, but we'll deal with it later. Anyway, let's continue moving everybody in order. Crone Hellebron, you're up next. I guess you have to kill off these guys, so let's put you into Druki First Strike, kill off the remains of Edmund Barrackmere's army, and then do the same thing for Roderick's. Auto-resolve is going to obviously hurt our poor Witch Elves, because it always does. Yeah, there we go. All got halved. Oh, auto-resolve. Why do you hate the Witch Elves so? Ward save, Overseer, Elf Servant, enemy killed in battle. Do the same thing here. And this is going to hurt them even more, but hopefully not as much as the last battle. At least don't have them, please. A little better. And enslave as well. Just keep healing like this. Potion of speed. I'm really hoping the Druki First Strike actually does reduce the damage. And damn, you won't be able to move again? Alright, fine. Go into raiding stance, and you'll be able to heal here to full. I see a bunch of armies are nearby. Oh, look at that. Balthazar Gelta's moving that. Maybe he can actually retake some of these territories on his own. Gelti. Gelta's one of my favorite, or has one of my favorite armies in my Karl Franz campaign, so I've grown attached to him. Not that I ever wasn't, but anyway, you, Hellebron, just, you know what, just stay here, because you're gonna, actually, wait, you know what? Go past, or get as close to Flensburg as possible. Here's the thing, we might be able to use Silco's Dark Path till we reach Flensburg next turn, and then continue recruiting there, transfer Null, and then have Crone Hellebron move to Wurtbad or something else, speaking of Wurtbad. Wait, R&Ds? Well, I guess I'll move you between the episodes. Yeah, I'll do that, don't worry. I just wanted to move them right now, just in case we were going to take any of these, but I guess we are not, so let's continue. Crone Hellebron, Druki Resources. Why did I click you? Nah, I don't think we need to recruit anymore. I was thinking of recruiting another pile of executioner units. You need to move up to Wei Jin there, Malice, so I guess you're going to keep traveling up north. You do also have your reinforcing / army buff coming in, so just wait a little bit more. Morathi doesn't need to move. Sharky does. And how long do we wait? Declare war. 3 turns, nearly there. We're just hoping that these guys declare war on us. Honestly, they might actually get killed without us having to deal with them at all. They're pretty much done for, eh? It's kind of neat. Good job to the Kislophites. We could probably have a nice border together with them. Sharky, why were you going to the Monolith of Catan instead of Serpent Jetty, though? You should go here instead. And then we can hit the Monolith of Catan after. Fortedman, you can follow Sharky around, and does anybody else need to do anything? Alright, Jaden the Troll of Vanquisher, you were headed southward, or possibly to... Oh, you know what? I was gonna say leave Morathi here, but once again, I think that Morathi will need to travel south. You know what? That'll probably have to happen next turn, because you need to heal up, but go to the edge of the territory here, then. And we'll leave Mave here. I don't know that Mave can take Skaven Blight with this army because it lacks artillery. But I'll think about it. We could also possibly get artillery from one of our allies, like some Hellstorm rocket batteries. There's certainly potential for that. And I also want to trade Chakwa, but that'll be a between the episode thing. Anyway, Jaden, I guess you're just gonna sit here for now then. I mean, I guess you could start heading out. No, you can't. You're gonna wait for Admiral Moksha. And it's gonna take Morathi a while to get here anyway. Ginesh Kane marked? Yes, you're gonna go north. You will be since you're Kane marked, you're gonna be a new army with a bunch of executioners. I don't know whether it'll be super needed, but you never know. Ricartho's good where he is, and... I'd love to be able to end the turn at the start of the next, turn or next episode. You will move down here. You're going to transfer all these units to Admiral Amhas. Valanduil, you are at 5 loyalty. No, just stay here for now. You're going to be an admin at the Bilious Cliffs, just not right now. Lokir Felhart, your turn is up next. You could grab... Oh, hello. Thorg is defending the Great Hall of Greases. And... don't collect the income. You are hurt, but we didn't have any trouble defeating them last time. We would be able to attack them here. You know what? I think we'll save that for next time. We will not have enough time to do this time around. So here's what I'll do. There's still a bunch of administrative stuff to do. I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we will start the episode out by probably attacking here and thus most likely get 2 battles in that episode. I'll move the heroes, do the buildings, etc, 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 and then we'll continue advancing towards that endgame scenario, which is coming up in only 6 turns, or at least the warning should in theory activate in 6 turns. So getting close, folks. Stay tuned for more Malekith. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.